All right, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus, and that's a great shot of your back, buddy.
Well, you know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at the Golden Arches, and my mind just went to the menu. I'm like, had I been there.
He's talking about let's supersize it, right? Man.
Don't you love it? Remember that old bit from the comic Sinbad? You're at line at a McDonald's, and the person in front of you is looking at the menu, trying to decide what they want. And you're like, the menu hasn't changed in 55 years.
Yeah.
I think you know what's on there.
Exactly.
What should I have?
Well, sometimes the options are not as obvious.
Right.
But look at this. It is still snowing. What are we looking at? Salamanca?
This is Salamanca, where the snow is continuing to fall. And this is what the entire area is going to, look like probably 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon.
It was wild. Early this morning, I woke up to flashes of lightning, some thunder snow, and I thought it was raining, but it was those little pellets that you get with thunder snow.
Yeah, that's the kind of precipitation that helps electrify the cloud, and that's when you get the thunder snow. Yeah, I drove through it this morning, too.
His forecast, it's electric. Go for it.
It was blinding this morning. Again, not many people out on the roads at 3 a.m. I was just one of them. And I'll tell you what, right at the 219 where you get onto the 90, you couldn't see a thing. Kind of scary, actually. All right, here's what we've got over the next 2 days. Today, mostly cloudy. Snow develops this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures tonight down into the low 20s, but we will warm into the low 30s by tomorrow morning as the snow showers continue. So currently, wind speeds and gusts are more manageable, 25 to 30 miles an hour. Yesterday, our peak wind gust was 63 miles an hour. I apologize. Okay, we're down to 20, 18 in East Aurora, 19 in Clarence, 17 in Medina, and it looks like we're going to see, again, more snow coming our way. By the way, the wind relaxes, as we just mentioned. More snow tonight into tomorrow. The total snow accumulation, 2 to 4 inches for the hills. I mean, it's 2 to 4 inches for the metro, 4 to 8 inches for the hills. Okay, which is where we have winter weather advisories. My goodness. All right, there is, see that? You could see a few of the lightning strikes showing up on the radar. That's our lightning tracker picked those up. The snow is still, continuing across Cattaraugus County and parts of eastern Chautauqua County, but that's where that snow will come to an end. But another round is coming. Winter weather advisory from 6 p.m. this evening to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Everybody's going to get the snow, but the heaviest will be south, where 4 to 8 inches of snow could occur. So let's time it out again. This morning, we've had a few snow showers. This afternoon, dry. Until about 5:30, that's when the snow makes a return. Snow tonight, but notice temperatures warm into the low 30s. Tomorrow morning, low 30s with some snow and snow showers into tomorrow afternoon. Future look shows lots of dry time today, but it's starting, there it is, 4:35. The snow begins to move in overnight tonight. The snow may lift a little bit to the north for a time, but it will come back for the morning commute. And periods of snow will take us through Wednesday, and it looks like snow showers until Wednesday night as well. Coming to an end, it looks like, by Thursday. And temperatures really up and down. Low 20s today, low 30s tomorrow, then down into the teens. It warms up for the end of the week, and then we're back into the low 20s on Saturday. So in terms of additional snow, well, the snow that's coming, we're going to get a couple of inches from Buffalo to East Aurora. Higher totals, though, across the south and the hills, where we could see 5 to 7, 8 inches of snow. Wind relaxing today, but I will say that by tonight, the wind, watch this, begins to ramp up again, so that by tonight we're going to see 25 to 35, maybe 40 mile an hour wind gusts with that snow. So for today, mostly cloudy, cold and breezy with the northwest wind. For tonight, we're going to be down to 22, but then it warms as the night goes on. Snow 2 to 4 inches. Long range forecast looks like this. We're going to see dry weather on Thursday, a rain and snow mix on Friday, dry on Saturday, but colder. And then we'll see some snow showers potentially Sunday and Monday. And then as we head to the south towns in the southern tier, weather impact alert for mainly tonight, tomorrow. And then there's that sloppy mix, Pete, for Friday. That system it's going to be tricky. That one could bring us all snow, or it might be a mix of rain and snow, depending upon the exact track. And then a chance of snow or Sunday, Monday next week.
You know, it's kind of funny when you saw the lightning strikes on there. You reminded me of Jim Cantori with thunder snow. How excited he gets.
There's something about it, because you got to remember, this is a weather phenomenon that happens like literally nowhere,
right?
Except here near the Great Lakes, and so it's a rare thing. And so to witness it, and it's such a bizarre sound. It doesn't have the rolling thunder that summertime thunderstorms do. It's just kind of like an explosion, and then it just goes away.
You know, it just I think a Buffalo band has got to name themselves that. I got to get my brother Steve to change his name
from the Styes to Thunder Snow. He'd sell far more tickets.
There you go. All right. Well, we are also talking about football, because reality is starting to set in across Bills country. The Bills are now in the offseason. Comes after that heartbreaking 32-29 loss to the Chiefs in KC. And yesterday, 2 on Your Side was on one Bills drive for locker cleanout. It is safe to say Bills Mafia and the players share similar feelings as we process Sunday's loss.
I don't really know. I don't think it's really hit me yet. I mean, you play 20-plus weeks in a season and get into your routine, and it's over just like that, you know. So, yeah, I say I'm just kind of numb right now.
Does it hit any different? Does it make it any more frustrating that it's once again to the Chiefs?
Regardless, I mean, I know the Chiefs have, past couple of years, always beat us out by a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think a loss regardless, whoever it is, it stings, especially when you're one away. So it is what it is. I mean, today is just, everybody, is feeling a certain way about it. Obviously, it sucks. It's not the best feeling in the world, like I said, especially when you're one game away. But I love this team. There's no pointing the finger. It didn't come down to one specific play at all. There's a lot of things that every individual wish they could have done better, So, like I said, it is what it is, but we'll be all right.
All right. You know what? He brings up a lot of things. I know everyone wants to point at the officiating, a couple of missed calls, the play calling, whatever. It was a combination of things. The Bills, right up until the end of the game, they had the chance to win, regardless of what was and wasn't called earlier in the game.
Right.
But
they had a chance to do it.
Yeah.
They had 3 minutes, 3 timeouts. Go make a play, and they couldn't get it done. And then KC in the fourth, they were able to march right down the field and score at will. I don't know. I agree with you. It's a lot of different things.
Well, and not to mention the fact, let's not take anything away from a team that's won 2 straight Super Bowls.
Right.
I know everyone says, well, yeah, the team and the refs, that's the whole thing, but they are a good football team.
They are.
And as much as I hate to admit it, Patrick Mahomes is next level.
Right.
But the Bills can get that. They're right at the mountain. They just got to get to the peak of the mountain.
Right. You think if Patrick Mahomes wasn't around, how many Super Bowls or championships would Josh Allen have? When you think about it, Patrick Mahomes is just in his way. And has been for 7 years.
I have been talking about what ifs for my 58 years.
What's the
59
point?
years on this.
It's wasted time.
Yeah, well,
I know.
Now, despite the loss, the Bills, they've got a lot to be proud of. They reached the number 2 seed in the AFC when many analysts weren't even expecting them to make the playoffs this year. Remember, this was supposed to be a rebuild? All year long, players heard chatter about the supposed lack of talent, but they silenced the doubters with several great performances during primetime games. Josh Allen says despite the disappointment, he's proud of his guys.
It's every year, right? I feel like I've said this every year. It's 31 unhappy teams. But I will say this about our team. Emphasis on team. I think this is one of the more special units I've ever been around in my entire life, from Pop Warner through high school, through college, in the NFL. Guys truly cared about each other. Everyone kind of understood their role and their assignment, and we had a huge internal belief when we all got here for camp, and we worked extremely hard to get to where we got. And we're constantly knocking at the door, and when you're playing a team like the Chiefs, who have done it so well for so long, you gotta not just knock, you gotta kick the door down, and we didn't do that.
Yeah, and you got to feel for guy. I mean, he is so Buffalo, and there's so much, Monday morning quarterbacking that goes along with it. The amount of times it makes you wonder in watching that game, was it the play calling or was it Josh? But it just seemed like they went back to the original game plan of last year of, all right, let's let Josh put his cape on.
Right.
I mean, the number of quarterback sneaks and how they would do it differently. But again, it goes back into the what ifs.
Right. Monday morning quarterbacking, we're doing it we did it yesterday, we're doing it today. It's Tuesday morning quarterbacking. We'll probably do it.
You know what?
It's just frustrating to think that what these 2 weeks could have been.
Yeah.
Leading up to the Super, I don't know. All right.
A lot of work.
I know.
All right, now we're talking about the offseason as we look to move forward rather than lamenting about the past. The first few days of the offseason is a time where, we reflect on what went wrong. Everyone's got an opinion on where we need to improve, but we spoke with Bills Mafia about what the team could have done better.
I enjoyed it. I think our defense was slacking a lot. I also feel like McDermott should have done better on the offensive plays. I was very disappointed at the end of it, but we fought hard, and I feel like, we'll get them next year for sure. We just got to tighten up on our defense. We got to work on our offensive plays, stop running the same play about 4 times, and maybe we'll get somewhere. Like he said, if you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs.
Honestly, man, I just think the defensive coordinator could have did a better job, but we gave it a good effort, and there has to be a winner and loser in every game, man. I was there for the 4 Super Bowls we lost. I was there for the 17 years of drought. And I'm going to be there for them next year. Win, lose, or draw, I'm a fan. I can't help it. I went to the rally. I'm going to go again if they had another one.
You know what? And those aren't rose-colored glasses.
No.
Those are stylish glasses,
were.
though. All right, let's take a look at the next steps in the offseason. A look at notable free agents that the Bills have. That list includes Amari Cooper, Rasul Douglas, Mac Hollins, Dwayne Smoot, and DeMar Hamlin. Some big names there. Free agency starts March 12th, and the Bills also have the 30th overall pick in the draft. So areas of need, you're talking about obviously what happens with free agency. Receiver may be an area of need depending on who signs and who doesn't, but the draft as well. But another big point of discussion has been the officiating involving the Chiefs. I mean, that's been not only here in Bills country, across the league, everyone's saying that there has to be some favoritism being shown. Here's the take of Adam Benini and Vic Carucci. They tackled the topic on Sports Talk Live.
You'd be remiss if we didn't address the officiating question because it was a theme going into the game, right? And it's certainly a theme coming out of it. And let's just talk about, there are some specific plays, Vic, in question here.
Yeah, of course, the Xavier Worthy catch, no catch, and there was a penalty on this play as well, but the whole issue was the positioning of the ball, which is why it was challenged, and the challenge is upheld. And then, here, did Dalton Kincaid ultimately get that first down where he landed? But this is the one that's going to be talked about for a long time. And looked on those angles like Josh got that first down, okay? The officials on the field rule against it. You get a rugby scrum like that, and chances are, and I've seen this numerous times, not involving the Bills or even the Chiefs necessarily, the ruling on the field is generally going to stand because, again, you've got a bunch of bodies packed together, and if the officials didn't see enough, and yes, there was also the controversy of one guy on one end walking it closer to the line of gain and the other guy walking it the other way. So, fine. But at the end of the day, if this is what makes people feel okay and good and is salve for the loss, the pain of the loss, well, the officials did it. It wasn't the Bills' fault. Forget that. That doesn't matter. No. Do what you need to do to win the game. Don't leave it to the officials. And I didn't hear Bills players complaining, I was going to say something else, about officiating, because that wasn't the right thing to do. The right thing to do is go out and win the game. Did we say at the top of the show they had the ball with a chance to win the game at the end, and they didn't?
Yeah, well, we said the same thing, but I know a lot of fans. I was in a room with a lot of fans who are saying, it's one thing to miss calls. It's one thing to calls go the other way. But those were crucial. Crucial. 2 of those controversial either catch or drop call or did they get the 4th down? 2 of those directly led to scores.
Points, right?
So
yeah.
that's going to be something that continues that discussion throughout the offseason. But, a local snow sculptor has shared his thoughts about the officiating. Look at this. This is a Valentine's Day take from artist Eric Jones showing Patrick Mahomes and a referee holding hands. Yeah, Jones has been behind many sculptures this winter, including cars and cartoonish depictions of Josh Allen and Matt Collins. So he's been doing just great work, and he's almost like a political cartoonist of the snow sculpture. So kind of cool.
That is very cool. Very cool.
And it's a great take on that, one shared by a lot in Bill's Moth.
Absolutely.
All right, switching gears now to the Sabres. They're returning to the ice tonight at KeyBank Center to host the Boston Bruins. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. And here's what head coach Lindy Ruff is saying ahead of the game.
I think our D zone has been, even on this trip, has been good. We've had some, like any team, you'll miss coverage, which costs you a chance usually. The biggest thing, I think, is when you get caught on a long shift, has hurt us. You look at Vancouver, you look at Calgary, even the Edmonton. We got off to a little bit of a tough start, but it was more puck play than coverage play. The game-winning goal was a coverage play, where if you really broke it down, it starts at the other end of the ice, where we have a chance to keep the puck in the offensive zone and we misplayed it. And then you got to go down, play a little bit tired in your own zone.
Yeah, it's a game. It's like football. Football is a game of inches. Hockey's a game of missed opportunity.
Right.
When you're getting scored on, that is.
Right.
But Lindy's right. It's you look at the little points and they just add up to pucks in our net. So the positive side is you clean up those little things, and the Sabres are right in the mix. The frustrating side is you clean up those little things, and the Sabres are right in the mix.
Right. So how many games back are we? It's the stupid question. Move on.
But you get the recap. I have to go into the box score.
Yeah.
Patrick has to go into his text message. How's William doing on this Sabres season?
Yeah, he's devoted. He watches every away game. He tries to go to as many games with him and his buddies. And I get, a text breakdown every morning of how the game went. And, he's still got the faith. He's positive vibes with him and the Sabres.
Well, now for the Sabres, Lindy and the entire coaching staff, all eyes are on you now. The Bills are out of the picture. There's no distraction. Right. Everyone's looking at you to pick us up, right? All right. Today we are also taking a look back at Western New York history. We're marking exactly 48 years since the blizzard of 77. In fact, the snow started flying in late morning on that day. 23 people died. Wind gusts reached up to 69 miles per hour, and those heavy winds continued for 3 days. Many people say this is the storm that gave Buffalo the reputation of being known as snowy and bitterly cold. And on your side is going to be remembering the most infamous winter storm. Join us for the streaming special on WGRZ-Plus right here in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to have archival reports from the day starting at 9:30 this morning. Then we're going to replay it at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then again at 8 o'clock right here on WGRZ+. But having lived through that was just an incredible storm. You talk about the winds yesterday. I mean, it was a windy night. That continued for 3 days.
Right.
Just incredible. And from a meteorological, historical perspective, it was something that I'm sure you studied, right?
Yeah, I though, there was something, it was a big storm, but there's something about the 2022 storm that was almost scarier. But yeah, this one had the frozen lake. We talked about it earlier. The lake froze over mid-December. I mean, we're lucky to get a frozen lake at all now, but then it froze over so early. And then between that date, December 14th, and the date of the blizzard, Buffalo got 98 inches of snow. So all that snow a lot of it sat on the lake, and then it blew back over the city. It was a historic storm. And like you said, A lot of people saw it because during that time, a famous television series was airing, Roots.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were watching Roots across the country, and then following the broadcast, they would go to their local news and everybody saw Buffalo.
Yeah, or the national news
Right.
would come on, and the whole country is seeing Buffalo in this snow globe. And it's unbelievable when you look at the images and a lot of your memories out there. That only 12 inches of snow.
Isn't that crazy? I know.
Fell during the storm, but you had 30-foot snowdrift.
Right.
You had houses buried. People climbing out of their window to get out of the house, the upstairs window. Just incredible memories. The most vivid memory I have is my dad and I taking a walk up from Allentown up to around Grant and Ferry to go to the grocery store. And a combination of snowmobiles and dog sleds up and down Richmond Avenue.
That's crazy.
It was just nuts. And I saw an op-ed piece that said Buffalo would have fared better like 50 to 60 years before, because in the age of trolleys and whatnot, and you didn't have the reliance on the tires on ice and getting your cars out, the public transit would have been able to get through a lot of this.
No, that's a good point. It's a very good point.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of ice, the ice boom, well, it was no match for Mother Nature, apparently. This morning, the Army Corps of Engineers is confirming that the ice has moved over the boom in Lake Erie, and the New York Power Authority tells Two on Your Side that the effort to free that big ship that was stuck in the ice much of last week may have caused a large section of the ice to separate and then go over the boom. We're waiting for improved weather so they can fly some drones over the area to inspect the ice that has actually traveled into the Niagara River. In the meantime, the ice-breaking boats are out on the Niagara River on both the American and Canadian side, because, Patrick, people have to remember that the ice boom's there because of the power plants downriver, and the big chunks of ice clogging, the potential of it clogging the water intakes.
So, okay, if the water intake was clogged by ice, what negative can happen?
Well, the hydro, both the hydro on the Canadian side and the New York Power Project are powered because of the hydropower. So if the water's not coming in the intake, exactly.
But and then maybe just damage to the infrastructure as well. So. All right, we go back to Salamanca, where it has just been a wintry scene. As mentioned, our wind is relaxing today. More snow tonight and tomorrow. A couple of inches in Buffalo, 4 to 8, it looks like, in the hills and across the southern tier. So, you know, it looks like we had a little radar outage, because I'm looking at radar returns and they just disappeared. They're still there. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I have a way to fix that. Let's see if we can turn on our other radar source here and see if the level 2 radar will work. And yep, there it is. Okay, so this is just a different radar source, and you can see, yes, it is still snowing across the Chautauqua Ridge and down into the hills. All right, winter weather advisory, 6 o'clock tonight to 6 o'clock tomorrow night, 4 to 8 inches of snow. Future look does show the snow's arrival time today, 4:30, 5 o'clock is when we think the first flakes will get here through the evening commute. So it could slow things down a little bit. And then for overnight tonight, temperatures warming as the snow continues to fall. And then tomorrow morning, looks like there could be some snow showers for the morning drive, and then periods of snow with temperatures in the low 30s through your Wednesday. So it does look like it's going to be a snowy, tonight and tomorrow. Then our next system that we're watching will bring us kind of a rain and snow mix on Friday. And then I think we're going to begin to see a weather pattern flip into next week. A much warmer weather pattern. I could see 40s for daytime highs. Doesn't mean it can't rain or snow, but this cold January, the weather pattern that's brought us this cold, looks like it's going to kind of come to an end next week. Something to certainly watch. Okay, weather impact alert for later tomorrow, Wednesday. There's the rain and snow for Friday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s on Friday, which is why we have the mix. Notice it gets colder again on Saturday, then a chance of some snow showers, it looks like, Sunday into Monday of next week.
Boy, minus that little mix of rain, it's a great week for outdoor sports.
Yeah.
I mean, great skiing
What
weather.
season it's been.
Yeah.
Our area resorts have had such a bounty of snow and good conditions. We haven't had those thaws or melts.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like those, but for the ski and snowmobile trails, you don't. And we haven't had a thaw. The snow has just been coming down and staying.
Yeah, snowmobile trails that have
my
been
gosh.
mud for many, many years.
Yes, even
Yeah.
locally, we have in Hamburg, we have snowmobile trails. And I saw the guy out there, they have a little snowmobile trail.
The groomer.
The groomer.
Love it.
There's been, in the last couple of years, you may have had a day or two to snowmobile.
Yep.
We've had like 2-3 solid weeks.
And usually with the thaws that we get
Yeah.
most winters, that's the perfect time to get your car cleaned because all the salt that's built up on it, we've seen the lines of cars, people saying, okay, I can't wait for the thaw. I got to get it cleaned. Outside of the Delta Sonic on a Saturday, especially this time of year, but the question comes up, especially last week, when is it too cold to row through the car wash? It's a question that many of you asked, so Two on Your Side's Claudine Ewing went out to verify and get some answers.
The car wash, roll through, and some cars allow you to see what's actually happening above and on the side. But with the weather we've been having lately, some car washes recently sent members emails saying, with below zero temperatures, dangerous wind chills, and heavy snowfall, we've made the difficult decision to close. Two on Your Side is verifying. We asked, when shouldn't you go through a car wash? Our source is Lauren Fix, an automotive expert from Car Coach Reports.
As soon as it hits that 15-degree mark, it's really, really cold. Don't run your car through the car wash. What happens is the water that goes into all the little crevices and everything can turn into ice, and then it's frozen. So you might be able to push open the door handle, but you can't open the door because the rubber that attaches to the door that touches it freezes.
Fix says it is a question she gets from time to time.
You run it through the car wash before it reaches about 30 degrees because what happens is all of the salt, which is calcium chloride that they put on the roadways, actually rots out cars. And that's when you see the rust that continues. And what happens that you don't see is a fuel line. This is a fuel line or a brake line. They will rot out.
Another reason to be careful in the cold at a car wash, the wiper blades.
The wipers in the back, they're really expensive. And these flat beam blades, they actually fall apart. And then you're not seeing. 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility, and when you can't see, this is why.
And your tires.
And there's different types of car washes. There's touchless, and there's some that have really good blowers that'll dry most of the water off. That's not going to impact the tires.
And once again,
it's 15 degrees and colder. Drive the vehicle, and as soon as it starts to warm up above that on a beautiful day, that's the day to run it through the car wash. And yeah, I know there's going to be a line.
All right, so there you go. We're talking about the temperature's effects on the car itself, but those poor employees that have to use the sprayer on the car. I mean, they would be ice sculptures.
But have you noticed, bring up Hamburg again, I think we've had 3 new car washes open in like the last 3 months. These nice, fancy, a lot of self-service kind.
Yep.
But they're popping up everywhere. I mean, I can think of 3 brand new ones that weren't there a year ago.
See, they want to be there for the thaw.
There we go.
Those long lines. All right. So there has been a debate that is dividing the internet. Perhaps you've been scrolling and you've seen this. On today.com, there's a poll asking, should adult children pay for their parents when they go out to dinner? Oh. The options are, and the options for answering are, yes, adult kids should pay, always. No, if parents offer, let them pay. And the last option is split the tab or take turns paying. Now, some reactions to the poll include, quote, I love fighting my married son for the check when they visit. Also, my grown daughter doesn't let me touch the check. And I am the parent that takes great pride in being able to treat my grown kids to a night out. If they think enough to spend time with me, I don't want it to cost them anything but time. And seeing as I have 3 adult children, it depends on the event. There have been times where we've invited all the kids and their significant others, come out, let's celebrate something or other, and then I'll pick up the tab. But if we go out for, my son's really good about, I'll get the first round or whatever. But it's kind of a free flow thing. So that's something for you to consider.
I'm getting close to it because I have an adult daughter.
Yeah.
She's 18. I wouldn't think of her paying right now. But, I think once they get a job, it's a different story.
All right.
An adult daughter.
Yeah, you have an adult daughter. That's points to ponder. All right. Thanks for joining us for Daybreak Plus. Remember, the look back at the blizzard of '77 coming up next.